I have been recently playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch, and I feel like I've decided to take it up to the next level. Don't let the unfairness and insanity of the items in this game, or just the fact that the game is amazing, don't let any of that fool you, because this game was really out for me. I wanted to make it as difficult as possible, all because I decided to commit to doing one thing: collecting all the coins in the entire game. By the entire game, I mean just the base game cups. I did try the Booster Course Pass, and it didn't work out. But can it be done? Are we gonna have any sort of hope to be able to get all the coins in the entire game? Well, we are going to be seeking an answer to that question today. I present to you the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Max Coin Challenge. Before we begin, we need to establish the rules of the challenge and what exactly our guidelines are. For starters, we need to be collecting every single coin. That means all the coins on the track. We will be using the modes Time Trials and Versus Race. And we will also be going into Battle Mode, because we are going to be doing the battle courses as well for this challenge, just to make things a bit more interesting. And we'll be using coin runners for that. More on that when we get to it. Multiplayer is allowed for versus races, but nothing more than that, so we might as well get into this. So, this video is actually going to be split up into two parts. The first part will be focusing on the easiest tracks in versus mode, and as well as the battle courses, where we are trying to get as many coins as possible. There is no max coin count for the battle courses, so we are going to try to get as many as we possibly can, under the guidelines of using coin runners, the time limit set to 5 minutes, and us selecting easy CPUs so that it is easy to beat them. And the second part is going to be focusing on the harder tracks in the main game. Tracks that actually require 3 or 4 players to be able to get all the coins. We might be using multiplayer in the first part of the video, but we will get there when we get there. We've done long enough for the rules talk. For now, let's get started. We will be using 200cc for most of this game, because it's going to be the easiest way to get all the coins under the time limit that we are allotted. So without further ado, let's get started. Hello there, it's Mario Plays from the future. I just wanted to point out that some of the tracks in this game are not possible while collecting all the coins. So for the sake of time, we will not be focusing on those tracks, and we are only going to be focusing on the tracks that are possible. So without further ado, let the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Max Coin Challenge finally set its course, with Water Park. So right off the bat, we're starting off with Water Park. We'll get back to Mario Kart Stadium in part 2, don't worry. Now this course is given a 5 out of 10, because of one simple obstacle towards the end of the track that we have to get through flawlessly, or else we are locked out of the max coins until we start back over. We have to get 3 coins on a ticket booth that is only accessible if we take the glider ramp. You have to get the angle just right. I did collect a coin there, don't worry, because you can see, if I turn around, you realize that one of the coins is no longer there. We have to complete a lap, and then get 1 coin on each lap. While it may sound easy, it's not. By the time I got to lap 2, I decided to go ahead and collect all the rest of the coins on the path along the way. This course took me multiple attempts to get right, even in my maximum coin records video, even though those max coin records are no longer on the channel anymore, since I won't be making them, because I got too demotivated on maximum coin records. But anyways, as I was saying, there's a few coins on the track, but they aren't super easy to get outside of the ones that I just mentioned on the ticket booth. Get used to stopping constantly, because it's the only way that we can get all the coins flawlessly, since we would just be zooming straight ahead of them if we messed up the angle. Because this is much harder than the other max coin challenges that you've seen all over YouTube lately. So after completing lap 2, you've collected 2 of the 3 coins. Now we just have to circle back across the entire course to give that a third attempt and complete the track. The reason is because we can't go backwards on this course, since the glider ramp is totally blocked off, and there's no way to be able to get over it. So this course isn't possible backwards, obviously. So I was able to get the last coin by taking the glider ramp, and we have successfully finished Water Park with the maximum coins. Now we are moving on to Sweet Sweet Canyon, and this course is given a 2 out of 10, because it's much easier than Water Park, but it does have one point of interest that makes it slightly more difficult than if you were to give this course a 1 out of 10. And there's a reason why we don't need multiplayer to be able to clear this course. It's because there are 2 branching paths that you have to take, and they both contain coins. The plan for single-player strats is to just take one path on the first lap, and then come back at the other path on the second lap. And also, I tried to go backwards along the second path, but I couldn't do it. So I decided to just go at it for the second lap. And the rest of the coins on this course are very easy to get. This means that Sweet Sweet Canyon has a perfect max coin score. The only thing really difficult about Thwomp Ruins is the fact that I had to do some exploring around all the split paths and even in the water to make sure that I collected all the coins. There is another point of interest towards the end of this track. I had to make an awkward landing on this elevated section of the staircase towards the end to be able to get a coin that's just sitting on the ramp. And for the heck of it, I tried to shroom over to the other side of the staircase to make it, but I didn't even get close. So I had to use the staircase to give myself a boost so that I could grab the last coin. And with that, we have finished the Mushroom Cup courses, and now we are ready to move on to the Flower Cup. The only thing that's really difficult in Mario Circuit is just the coins on this ramp. You have to kind of go slow to make sure that you can collect them, so that you don't have to go as far if you trick off the ramp. The rest of the coins are easy to get. Except for maybe this glide ramp that I had to backtrack to, but nonetheless, Mario Circuit is completely possible with maximum coins. With Toad Harbor, we had the same difficulty spike with Mario Circuit, but this time it's got a boost panel, so that's why the difficulty is up to 3 out of 10 for this track. So, it's a little bit more difficult to pick up the coins, but not impossible. The rest of the coins on this track were really easy. It's just that it was time consuming because I had to go across a bunch of split paths. And I also waited at this stop sign to make sure that the trolleys had coins, since we have to get them all from the trolleys to be able to get a flawless run. But nevertheless, Toad Harbor is possible with the max coins. So that's basically going to be it for the Flower Cup, because Twisted Mansion isn't possible for the max coin challenge, and we'll talk about that in part 2. And we're going to skip over Shy Guy Falls for now. So we're just going to move into the Star Cup. Sunshine Airport and Dolphin Shoals are going to be covered in part 2. So we're going to go right into Electrodrome. Electrodrome is really easy. The only thing noteworthy is that there are 2 paths. I decided to cycle through the green one first, then backtrack through it, then check the pink one for coins. They aren't that hard to get, and none of them are on the glider ramp section. Just you wait till we get to part 2 where we have to address all of those tracks. I can imagine that glider ramps are going to be a real hurdle for this challenge. But yeah, we can do Electrodrome with all the coins. Moving on. Aside from a bunch of paths that I had to explore, it took about 4.5 minutes to get through Mount Wario with all the coins. Not much to say here, so let's just move on to the Special Cup. The only thing noteworthy in Cloud Top Cruise is the fact that on the airship, we have to take both paths to make sure that we collected all the coins before taking the cannon. The coin at the end along the leaf shortcut is slightly trickier than the rest of the coins, but aside from that, there isn't much to see here. On to Bowser's Castle. We're gonna come back to Bone Dry Dunes in part 2, but for now, Bowser's Castle is extremely easy. Save for a couple of split paths that we have to take. Both of them contain coins, so we will have to go through with that. Neither path contains coins on the glider ramps, so we can clear this course just fine. Rainbow Road is certainly going to take that up to the next level. I can already tell. But for now, we have finished the Special Cup, and we are ready to move on to the Egg Cup. All of the coins are extremely easy to collect in Yoshi's Circuit, so there's not much to say here. Moving on. Excitebike Arena's layout changes every single time you reload it, so get used to seeing steep ramps that you'll have to circle around, so you can get another attempt if you miss a coin. But it's nothing that we can't get around. This course is possible while collecting the max coins. The only coins of note in Dragon Driftway are these 2 coins on the grassy ramp. It's tricky, but you can nudge yourself close enough to the edge to get both of the coins, and then back up before you fall off. And then the rest of the coins are a piece of cake. Coins come from these dispensers in the F-Zero tracks, so I don't really know how to do a max coin challenge for Mute City or Big Blue, so we're just gonna get 10 from Mute City and then finish the rest of the race without falling off. And that wraps up the whole Egg Cup. So next up is the Crossing Cup. This track is completely impossible. Like, there's no hope for Baby Park. It's like the hardest track in the entire run. I don't know. Don't even bother attempting this course. It's just so hard. How are we gonna do the max coin challenge for it? Oh my god, we actually managed to complete the max coin challenge for Baby Park. Like, jeez, that was way too hard. Cheese Land is basically just about as easy as Yoshi's Circuit, that is to say, there's not much to talk about here. Moving on. Wild Woods is a bit interesting because there are coins on the waterfall, and it seemed like they kept coming. So I decided to just chill somewhere to check and make sure if the coins were infinitely respawning, because infinitely respawning coins don't matter for the challenge. And after sitting around for about 10 seconds, I noticed that they infinitely respawn, so we are going to move on. But that's not why this is actually slightly more difficult. That's because there are lily pads containing coins on the boost panels, and we have to collect all of them. The one way that we can avoid this is by holding left as we collect the coin, so that we don't fly off the boost panel and have to circle back across the entire lap. Which, just to be clear, we cannot come back after we already take the ramp. So yeah, these coins are not hard to get, so we're gonna move on. Animal Crossing plays differently compared to the other tracks, because we have to collect bells this time around. This does not give an incentive of, oh, we collected 0 coins since there are none in the track, and we've somehow cleared the max coin challenge for Animal Crossing. No. That would make it way too easy. We are to collect all of the bells across Animal Crossing to be able to make it qualify for max coins. Even though bells aren't actually coins, we are going to do that for the sake of making it interesting. But anyways, getting all the bells in Animal Crossing isn't really that hard. So, that wraps up the Crossing Cup, which means we can finally move on to the Shell Cup. Moo Moo Meadows is almost okay, except for this windmill. There are 8 coins that we have to get, and there are 2 on each blade, and we have to somehow get all of them in 10 minutes. It's completely possible, but I recommend using 200cc for this. Which, yes, we have been using for the entire challenge, but no, is it easy? Because you have to get the timing down perfectly, or else you'll miss a coin, like I did in this clip. And, yeah, it took a while. I had to keep going back for the glider ramp, and I also needed to get the timing down for the blades. So it wasn't until I got to the 5-minute mark where I managed to get all of them, but I double-checked to make sure that there are no more coins left on the windmill, and sure enough, I got them all. So all that was left to do was finish the race, and now we can move on. The only coins of particular notice in GBA Mario Circuit are the coins on the boost ramp after the anti-gravity section. We can circle back at those 3, or we can have multiple players use it. Remember, going backwards is not an option for this track. Cheep Cheep Beach was very time-consuming since I had to explore every nook and cranny to make sure that I'm not missing any coins above and below the water, but it's at least possible, so we're gonna move on. For Toad's Turnpike, I had to follow the cars containing coins behind them and go along the anti-gravity ramps, but aside from that, it was pretty easy. So that wraps up the Shell Cup, which means we are finally moving on to the Banana Cup. Dry Dry Desert contains pokies that generate coins when forming an archway. I decided to sit in front of one to see if it would generate a coin infinitely, and sure enough, it does. Here's proof. So we don't need to get the pokies from the archways, but I did so anyways. The coins at the oasis are really tricky to get to, since you have to perform tricks off of the mounds at just the right angles, so that you are able to make it into all the coins. But nevertheless, it's possible and we can move on. Donut Plains 3 is really easy. The only thing that I like to bring up is that there's a secret passage underwater, just after the broken bridge, that I didn't even know existed until now, and that it has 3 coins. That's kinda neat. It is finally time to bust out multiplayer. We will be using 200cc, custom items, the round count does not matter, computer players are turned off, and the item layout is going to just be mushrooms, since that's what's going to get us through the courses faster. So now it's time we pay a visit to DK Jungle. Now it's time to talk about Versus Mode itself. The coins infinitely respawn when we are going in with Grand Prix or Versus Mode, but we only have to collect them once for this challenge because we can't just stand in a coin spawn area the entire game. Now don't blink. We have to do exactly that twice over so that we can be able to finish the course. So I went in with Luigi, collected all the coins leading up to the Golden Temple ramps, and then went through the whole course with Toadette. I had to position Toadette on the right side of the boost panel so we could get the remaining coins. Don't blink. Yes, I actually did get both of them. All that was left to do was to just finish the race and go back into single player mode as we make our way into the Leaf Cup. Wario Stadium is very difficult because there are 3 coins on this ramp and we have to get 1 every lap. Immediately after that, there are sets of coins on the boost ramps leading towards this Rings of Fire. It's not really hard to get all of them, it's just tedious. As if that wasn't bad enough, now we have 2 Rings of Fire with 2 coins in each ring. I was thinking that we'd have to move as fast as possible so that we could jump through the rings and get all the coins, but that is actually not the move. We have to move slowly across the ramp so that we can jump to the coin's height, and we just have to do that 4 times over, assuming you don't miss a single coin. As if that wasn't bad enough, the last obstacle in Wario Stadium is the glider ramp at the very end of the track. We have to get 7 coins that are placed in the air. Luckily, it's really easy since we can just go backwards to the glider ramp and give it another shot. But most other tracks in this game won't give us this luxury since it's mostly just one-way courses, considering Lakitu does not want to play nice, and he will just keep moving us forwards in the track once we fall down a pit or hole. But Wario Stadium does not have that restriction, and we can just get all the coins. In spite of all of that, we still got the max coins. Outside of the fact that I had to go to lap 3 so that we could get all the rest of the coins on the boost panel towards the beginning of the track. After that ordeal, Sherbet Land isn't so bad. We can collect all the coins, although it is very time consuming since we have to go above and below the water to check for coins. Moving on. The metronome section in Music Park can be a little intimidating because of the metronomes jumping every 4 seconds, but that doesn't stop you from collecting all the coins. I kinda just wanted to point that out, because it makes the course slightly more difficult, but not impossible. Yoshi Valley is very complex. I had to go across every single path to check for coins, and obviously not all of them are accessible on the same lap, but most of them were. That's because I decided to do a little trick that helped me go backwards into the cave. We have to take this path underneath the bridge and hang a right. Now, don't blink. I feel like I may have replicated that trick before, but I don't really know how that happened. But for now, we can get the rest of the coins in the cave and finish up the rest of the course. I did have to come back for the coins on one path that I left untouched, and it's possible to just barely nudge yourself close enough to the edge so that you can grab it and then back up, and then we can get all 4 and finish the course. And that wraps up the Leaf Cup, so let's move on to the Lightning Cup. N64 Rainbow Road is the easiest track in the Lightning Cup, and we'll cover the rest in part 2. Most of the coins come from the flying train in this course, but those coins don't matter since they infinitely respawn. So we can get all the coins that don't infinitely respawn and finish up this course no problem. And with that, there's only 2 more cups left to go. For some reason, Wario's Gold Mine has a coin to the left of the finish line. I don't know how that got there, but I'm not complaining. But once we get into the mine, we see 3 coins on this boost panel ramp, and we can collect all of them individually, 1 for each lap, or we can just keep jumping back at the ramp to give it another shot. With this shortcut path, there are about 6 coins to get across each glider ramp, so we can just collect them all. We will only be able to collect 5 of them on our first attempt, since we can only get 1 of them while we are exiting this shortcut, but that won't stop us from turning back around and going back for the last coin. Do I really need to say anything about SNES Rainbow Road? This is the flattest track in the entire game. But I guess the coins halfway through the course are of some notice, since they are, like, elevated a bit. But come on, you get infinite attempts at this. This shouldn't even be that big of a deal. Let's just move on to the Bell Cup already. We need 4 players for Neo Bowser City, so that we can get the coins on the glider ramp at the end of the track. I had to grab 1 coin at a time with each character, and the 5th one is unobtainable on lap 1, so I had to come back at it with lap 2. But the rest of the course is smooth sailing and we can move on. Ribbon Road doesn't have much to talk about compared to Neo Bowser City, so we're just gonna move on. Super Bell Subway is just about the same as Ribbon Road, although it did take much longer than normal due to having to do a lot of exploring. Come on, is there really anything I have to say about Big Blue? It's just another F-Zero track. Just get 10 coins from the dispenser and then finish the rest of the race. And now it's time to cover the 8 battle tracks. The setup is going to be coin runners, custom items, time for 5 minutes, easy computer players, and then 8 rounds, and the loadouts are going to be just mushrooms. So we will now set off for Battle Stadium. There are no engine classes in battle mode, so we aren't able to collect coins as quickly as we did with the main game. So I had to kind of grind. That wasn't easy, considering the computer players were still aggressive even though I had them on the easy setting, because they'd either steal a coin from me when I'm just about to collect it, or I'd just take too long to get the crown and not get to a very high number, which I didn't get to in Battle Stadium. I came close to 40 coins, but the time ran out before I could steal another coin from Inkling Boy. So I guess we're coming out of this course with 37. On to Sweet Sweet Kingdom. Sweet Sweet Kingdom was slightly more generous than Battle Stadium, and I ended up getting to a pretty high count. I just hate Dragon Palace. Like, the coins are just so scarce, I didn't end up getting to a high number like Sweet Sweet Kingdom. Turns out, I actually got higher than I did that time, because I got 52 coins. That's a kind of a plus. Lunar Colony is the most difficult battle track for the Max Coin Challenge. I had to go out of my way to collect coins, and make sure that I wasn't missing any since it's full-on anti-gravity. It's so easy to miss a coin if we collect one. I managed a decent enough 44 coins in Lunar Colony. Woohoo Town went about the same as Lunar Colony, because I managed 44 coins again. Luigi's Mansion gave me the worst luck, and I don't even know why. Like, I just got my coins stolen once, and then my chances were totally ruined. I guess we're coming out of this course with 29, since that was the best I could manage. Battle Course 1 is simply broken, because there's a strategy for coin farming in this course. It didn't work for the first 30 seconds because the computer players kept stealing the coins, but there is a bit of a strategy to this. We can just drive around the outer edge of the arena through the entire battle, being sure to collect all the coins along the way, and making sure that you haven't missed a single one. If you miss one, go back for it before a computer steals it. This works until you get to the 1 minute mark where you stop getting coins from the outer edge of the arena. It absolutely works. No matter how slow you go, that doesn't stop you from collecting coins. If computer players pass by, attempts to steal coins from them too. If we have the loadout set as only mushrooms, then this is really going to work. If we keep going at this, we will eventually get the crown. It takes about 3 coins to get to that crown normally, and then we will have made it to a very high score count. The coin counter is capped at 99, by the way, but we aren't able to get to that if we don't have luck. Remember, the CPUs are put on easy mode, but they can act aggressive in a way. This works, and we can get to a very high number of 69 coins. Now it is possible to get to 80 coins, but I didn't get that luxury in this video due to the computer players acting aggressive. Anyways, let's move on to our final course, Urchin Underpass. This course does contain splat coins instead of regular coins, but that doesn't matter. Just like with Animal Crossing, we are collecting all the splat coins, or at the very least as many as we can is what I mean by all coins. This battle turned out decent, and I got 52 coins. So my final coin count across all the other battle tracks was 373. We could get 3 times the amount if I chose 24 for the round count, but I'm pretty happy with this score, so it's going in. With all of the easiest tracks and battle mode courses done, we're taking a break and ending part 1 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Max Coin Challenge. Overall, we managed pretty decent scores throughout the tracks. But part 2 is when the most difficult tracks, and even the impossible ones, are going to take place. It should be uploaded in about 1 or 2 weeks, but probably no later than July 8th. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.